All right, students of history, let's talk about the future instructional format for the course. As you may recall, I started sending emails out to this class back at the beginning of August, letting you know that I had received permission to move this class into a 100% Zoom format, in part for health reasons. I'm a little older than y'all, and COVID 19 is a little more serious the older you get. And my wife is in a high risk group with asthma. So I'd like to limit the amount of time I spend with people who might not be social distancing to the level that I'd like to social distance. But primarily, I wanted to go 100% Zoom because of pedagogical reasons, and that's a fancy word for how someone teaches. My style of teaching is most effective if we're all in one place because I try to make the class as interactive as possible. And we got a little bit of that from our class last Thursday. And that is hard when some of you are in one place on Zoom and some of you are in the classroom. It's the technology is difficult, but for me it's difficult to which audience do you focus on and how do you get people to interact. That's just a whole level of challenge that if we're all on Zoom, we don't even have to deal with. And I've been toying with the idea of Zoom classes for a couple of years now. I run some D&D games on Zoom, and it's been in the gamer community for a long time. And some of the possibilities of how you could operate with the format. But my eyes were really opened in the spring when it was all forced on us, right? And I want to see what else we can do with the format because I really think that we're looking at the future, or at least one potential future, of work, of learning, of social interaction. Now, Zoom is not going to replace physical in-person interactions. I mean, we've evolved to need that stuff. But it is here to stay, and it's going to be part of your world of work, your education, and more in the future. You can just think about things like telehealth or the businesses that are deciding to go without buildings because they've decided that this is a more efficient way of doing things. You could find yourself in employment that's doing that kind of stuff. So I actually think that learning how to learn, and for me, learning how to teach effectively in this format could give us both an advantage in the world of the future. So you guys think a little bit about that. But I also know that some of you have had less than optimum experiences with online learning platforms, especially after, spring 2020. Some of you just want to go back to something that you're more familiar with, although realistically we can't, right? Because the mask is not anything we've ever been familiar with, and that's going to take, who knows, maybe next semester, more realistically 12 months, maybe 18 months. That's what we hear. We'll see. No one really knows. And some of you might actually be willing to try, but it is different. And you're a little hesitant because you've been a successful student under the other setup, and you're not really sure how to be a successful student under the new platform. So I hear you. I hear you. So let me tell you where I'm at with things. I wanted to run the first day 100% Zoom simply to dodge the chaos of the first day with the new COVID-19 protocols in place, and I am glad I did. In one of my sections, the room wasn't even set up properly. All the desks were bunched up together, and there was more desks than there were supposed to be. I actually went over there and changed it. But I wanted to run the first day on Zoom just to dodge all that. And then I wanted to run 2 modified face-to-face sessions so that everybody who wanted to have a chance to come to the class could get an idea about what that was going to be like, sitting in the class with the mask, social distance, with the professor who's maybe a little uptight about that kind of thing. Um, and then also to be on the Zoom end of the modified face to face, trying to listen to a professor in a mask or classmates in a mask and how that might be working. So I wanted to run 2 face to face sessions to give everybody an opportunity to experience that, including me, to kind of see how the technologies worked and all that. And then I wanted to run a 100% Zoom session based on materials. Okay, the first day was 100% Zoom, but I wanted to do that thing on Thursday. Let's get into the origins of patriarchy and let's run this where we're just talking about history. So we can see what that might be like. And that gets us to today, where I would like some input from you. On the week 3 module page, and if this announcement came to you, or if this video came to you in the form of announcement, it probably is right here underneath this. There is a link to an anonymous, ungraded survey that I would appreciate you filling out as soon as you can. I don't think it's going to take you very long. The questions are very straightforward. The first question is just select which format do you prefer. And then there's a few places for written feedback, really focused around how can we improve the experience. I ask the very general questions. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Really what I'm asking, what is working for you? What isn't working for you? And what do you think might work for you? Your input will not only help me make some decisions about the format, but also how to use the format. And I've already received some cool ideas from people. And if you've got something else that you want to say about the format that doesn't fit into the parameters of one of those questions, just write it at the bottom someplace. I'm not worried about it all being self-contained. So you guys please fill that out, and that'll help me out, because now that we've done what we've done, I want to think about things a little bit and kind of see what's up with the future. Now, the coming week is 100% Zoom both days. 100% Zoom both days for the coming week. And you should be mentally preparing yourself for that to be the case from this point forward. I'm just laying my cards on the table. I want to run this course as a 100% Zoom course. But I also want as many of you, all of you, to be comfortable with that, in terms of feeling like, yeah, I can be successful in this course. I'm going to have fun in this course. I'm going to enjoy this course. I understand how to do that. So I felt like that maybe we needed a couple of modified face-to-face days to bring a couple of you on board that's like, okay, I think I could be okay with the 100% Zoom format. Maybe we can establish, a little bit of trust with each other. That you'll learn more history, you'll have more fun, and be more interactive with your peers in a Zoom format than in the modified face-to-face. But I also suspect that everybody is not there. And so I have not given up those classrooms yet, in case we need to do it again and have another meetup or two. I'm open to that. I want to close by emphasizing that the most important thing to me is that you come out of this class learning some history, upgrading your academic skills so that you're able to succeed in your major. That's what general ed is supposed to be about. Upgrading your professional skill set for your future employment, making a couple of new friends in the class, and thinking that you got so much of your money's worth out of History 101 that you want to sign up for History 102 in the spring. And I think we can do that more effectively if we're all on Zoom, with video feeds on, with microphones on, ready to engage in this format. So anyway, y'all take the survey. I'll keep you updated, and I got a whole bunch of thought pieces to grade that I better get to. Send me an email through the inbox or try to catch me in my virtual office if you guys need anything. All right, have a good Labor Day weekend.